What's up? And welcome to Ola Testing Shit. This is the Nux Solid Studio, an IR and power amp simulator. I like how we're getting more and more products like this into the market. There is obviously a demand for products like this, and brands start to finally kind of catch up and deliver. The Solid Studio is an impulse response loader and a power amp simulator in a pedal format, where you have a lot of controls and options on the actual pedal. But you can also, of course, load in your own impulse response into this thing through a USB cable using the Solid Studio software. But built in, we have 8 different cabinets with 8 different microphone configurations, and we have 3 different microphone positions like center, mid, edge. Also a choice of power amp tubes. We have EL34, 6V6 and EL84. Down here we have a master dial for the power amp simulation and a drive. It's basically like a drive of the power amp simulation going. And then we have a presence knob as well. At the sides here we have a balanced XLR output. We also have a regular output here. We have a through output, so you can send through the original signal back into your amplifier if you're using it in your effects loop, or even use it between your amplifier and your cabinet. And this little toggle switch here switches between what type of signal you're putting through. Is it a line signal, like the one from your FX loop to your amplifier, or a speaker signal from the speaker output from your amplifier? Here's the headroom level if you want plus 4 dB or minus 10 dB. And here's the input, where you plug in all your shit, basically. USB port, so you can stuff your own impulse loads in there. Just hit me, impulse load. Sounds almost like premature ejaculation. So I see a lot of usages for this pedal, either being an extra piece of equipment to use with your tube amplifier rig to get a consistent sound to a mixing desk or audio interface, or as a power amp and speaker simulator for a pedalboard setup, for instance. I'm gonna try both methods in this video. So let's start. In this first test, I'm hooking up this Nux Cerberus pedalboard, which has a distortion, it has an overdrive, it has effects. It's basically a bunch of pedals in a package like this. And after that, I'm using the Solid Studio, and it's connected to my Apogee audio interface from using this DI out XLR. And this is how it sounds without the Solid Studio. Engage. Gotta love that sound, man. Okay, so let's engage the cabinet section. And the power amp simulation. So when the power amp simulation is engaged, these 3 dials work. So you have the master volume, you have a drive for the power amp, and a presence knob. And you also have a choice of what type of tube the power amplifier is simulating. So we have either EL34s, we have 6V6, and EL84. So what you do if you want to switch a cabinet, you just change this little dial here. So let's start. This is the GC120. Okay. So that was the cabinets that you can choose from, but you can also, of course, upload your own impulse response, and I've done that. I'm going to show you later. But first, we have the different microphones here, so there's a bunch of them to choose from. 421, SM57, So there's a lot to choose from. I didn't even touch the the microphone placement. You can choose between center, mid, or edge. So center, mid. Okay, let's try and load in my own impulse responses. I've done this through the computer, and they're basically, you place them over other files. So if you want, you can load in a lot of different impulses of your own, and you know, you just switch them with this. So let's see if I can. Instant Ola, right away. I have another one. This one. So that's an example of how you would use it with pedals or a pedal board like that. Let's hook it up into my Randall Satan. Okay, this is going to be very, very interesting. All right, I have this thing hooked up into my Randall Satan now. I'm using the speaker output from the Satan into the Solid Studio and using the through output to connect to the cabinet. Since this is a speaker load coming from the amplifier, both these two cables that I use here has to be speaker cables. I could have also used the Solid Studio to be in the effects loop of the amplifier, but then I wouldn't have get the power amp coloring from the amplifier in the signal. So yeah, I have no idea how it sounds in the computer now or through the output of this, because you know the cabinet's playing all. So from here, this cable goes into my audio interface, and that's recording the sound right now. So yeah, let's try it. Okay, let's switch to another impulse. Okay, let's try a different impulse. I have no idea how it sounds. I'm just gonna... Oh yeah, and now I should turn off the power amp simulation. Okay. Now I'm using one of the built-in impulses, and this is the V4x12 with a 421 microphone, and it's center. Let's switch it to edge. No, mid, sorry. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so I would see that This would be something you could bring to a gig with you and connect between your amplifier and your cabinet and have a signal going from this one to the front of house to have a more consistent signal. So that is the Solid Studio from Nux for you. Straightforward and not really that complicated to get going with this. I mean, if you have no idea what you're doing, this might be a good start when you want to venture into the impulse response game. If you dug this video, please leave a thumbs up, subscribe, off, do whatever you want. Thank you so much for watching and see you next time. There it is.